So we actually have our first LEGO retirement list for 2023, and today I wanted to take a look at 20 LEGO sets that I'm personally looking at and will probably invest in. Let's talk about them. So yes, welcome back everyone to another LEGO video. If you guys saw my video yesterday, you guys would know by now we actually have the full retirement list, or at least the speculated list for 2023. This comes from Brick Fanatics, and today I want to actually go over every single theme and pretty much go over my top 20 picks that I'll personally be looking at, throughout the year. As always, it's pretty early right now. Of course, it's only January 9th. We have an entire year pretty much to, decide what we want to invest in, where's our money best put. As always, this is not financial advice, but nonetheless, this is pretty much going to be my top 20 sets going into the new year that I'll be looking for sales, picking up a couple here and there, a couple definitive ones nonetheless, that I'm just a big fan of, either way. But yeah, let's get into it, guys. We're going over pretty much every single theme, but I will start off right now by saying themes that I don't know enough about, so I can't really talk about them, being Harry Potter, Disney, Jurassic World, and Monkey Kid. Those are the four themes I just don't know anything about, so I'm personally not putting my money into those. And then next up, really quick, we have themes I would never touch no matter what anyway, and I can't personally recommend them to you either. Super Mario, City, Friends, Dots, CMFs this year. Series 24 is retiring. The only thing I can truthfully say that I'm interested in is the Fantasy Era Orc, the new one out of there. The Lego art, there's just nothing this year. I think other years has been, there's been pretty good stuff. And also Lego Brickheads, nothing this year. So starting off, guys, with the first theme, there's actually something we have Lego Ideas with set number 21325, the Medieval Blacksmith. And this one right here, I think we all know it's going to be a pretty long-term set, as in the regards, it's been out for about 2.5 years now, and or by the time it retires. And I think everyone knows, look, 5 years down the line, people are going to want this set. It's got the Falcon Knights or the Black Falcons in there. Again, I'm not a big castle guy. The only castle stuff I personally like is the Fantasy Era stuff. So all this newer castle stuff, I'm lucky. I don't have to be spending $400 for the big castle, $180 for this. But nonetheless, look, if you find this first deal, and including myself, if I get a couple for even 20 or 30% off. I know a lot of people got them on deep discount at Costco over the past month or two, which I'm very jealous of that point. But this is one personally where, it's in my top 20. If I can catch it on sale, I will definitely buy a couple. Next up, we have Lego Marvel here. And there's actually only two of them, that I'm personally interested in. And one's actually a 2023 set that's not even out yet. So this comes out March 1st of 2023. That being 10784, the Team Spider at Green Goblin's Lighthouse. So this one here, again, we don't have the set yet. We don't truly know, everything about it. We've seen official pictures, of course, but, comes out March 1st, $35. Comes with some beautiful minifigures. That's kind of the thing. It's a 4+ set where a lot of times these 4+ sets kind of go under, under the radar, where, people investing in them, will a lot of people buy it, for long term? I doubt it. And again, I think those minifigures, I think the whole entire selection, I think the whole set, the whole vibe of it, works for $35. And if I can pick up those for, say, 22 to 25, I think that's a steal of a deal as is, just due to those 4 minifigures. So there's the first one. And then last up here for Marvel, like I said, very lackluster Marvel stuff in the past couple years, in my opinion, where, just a lot of it's kind of just, in my opinion, a bunch of goobly glob. But we do have the 76193, the Guardian ship right here, or the Benatar, I think it's called. I'm not the biggest Guardians fan, I'll be honest. I'm not a huge fan of them. I like the first movie. I don't really like the second movie. And but nonetheless, look, this is one where, even though I might not be buying this set myself, if I find it on deep enough discount, sure I will. But this is probably on the lower end of my top 20 right here. But I will recommend it to any of you guys. Hey, look, of course, we do know, it's a beautiful ship. They really outdid themselves this time. Beautiful stand, all exclusive minifigures aside for, I think, one of them, right? And, yeah, overall, just a very beautiful, ship. Retails for $160. So if you get it for, 120 or under, I think you already have some nice built-in money there. Moving on, guys, we have Lego Icons, which I think is just kind of their creator expert stuff, kind of rebranded. But we got two things right here. One that's pretty obvious, then one is kind of just like a big personal thing for me, since it's actually been out since 2019, man. That's literally, 4 full years at that point? Actually, 5 full years. So we have the 10265, the Ford Mustang, the classic Ford Mustang. And actually, if you guys see, I do have an alternate build of it right back here. You have a 2020 GT500. So I'm a big Mustang guy. I've got a Mustang myself for the past couple of years. I think I'll probably continue to be Mustang guy forever. And as much as, look, I will admit I like the newer stuff more than the older stuff. it is one of those things where, Lego only makes so much Mustang stuff. So this one here is more of a personal thing. I've already got a sealed copy. I have this copy here. I bought two of them, one to make this, one to keep sealed. I'll probably end up getting another one, maybe even two, if I find it on a deep discount. But, that one is kind of more of a personal thing for me. Can I recommend it for everyone? Probably not. It's been out for a long time, and it's gone through a lot of sales, a lot of price hikes and everything. But next up, we have 10280 Flower Bouquet, and this one I think is a pretty obvious one. It did get the $10 price hike, so that kind of sucks. But even from the get-go, when that set first came out, everyone was going nuts about it. People were paying 20, 30, 40 bucks over retail, and kind of understandably. I mean, this really is like just a very beautiful set. I've actually got it up in my room, my actual bedroom, in a vase, and I put the water studs in the vase and everything. It's a clear vase, and it looks beautiful. So this one right here, I think out of every Lego set that they've made in the past 10 years, this is probably the most evergreen Lego set I've ever seen. And that's just figuratively too. It's literally a flower set. It's evergreen, content right here. I mean, you could have this for 10 years. No one's ever going to get sick of having a beautiful bouquet of Lego flowers, especially if you're a Lego fan. That's one thing I talk about in these investing videos, at least in my opinion. Look at it in the grander scale. Is it a license or a theme or something that might just kind of, fizzle out in a couple years? Is it a set that might not have any relevance in a few years? But this is something here where, look, I'll be the first one. I'm stocking 3 of these right now. And most importantly, it's almost just look, I mean, whenever I get into, my next relationship, look, I mean, I'm going to have some Lego flowers for her. You know what I'm saying? So even that little type of stuff, investing or not, this is just one of those sets where I think everyone should almost have 1 or 2 for any future occasion. So there's that one, beautiful set. I'm a big fan of it, and I can highly recommend this one. Next up, we have Lego Ninjago here, and I'll preface this by saying, look, I'm not the biggest Ninjago guy. I've watched a little bit of the TV show. I don't hate it. I respect it for what it is. I really do, but I don't know enough about the lore to really know exactly what people are into and what people aren't into. But personally, what I'm into in Ninjago the most is the dragons. So we have 3 dragons retiring at the end of this year, and I've got all the dragons built for myself, and I've got a couple sealed whenever I pick them up on clearance. I do keep them sealed for myself, and including I've already actually got a couple of both of these right here, the 71754 Water Dragon. I think I've already got 3 of them over there, 2 or 3. And then next up we have 71766, the Lloyd's Legendary Dragon, the green one. That one I know I've got 1 over there for sure. And then this one's actually the one dragon I don't have yet for myself, but honestly, hopefully I get them on a little bit of a sale where I can just pick up maybe 2 at once, 1 to build, 1 to keep sealed. 71774 Lloyd's Golden Ultra Dragon. And look, if you look at the dragons from 10 years ago, those things went crazy. I mean, sure, people weren't really investing in Lego back then, weren't keeping as many sealed. A few of these recent dragons though have done pretty well. You guys know me, I stocked up pretty heavily on that Overlord Dragon. We'll see where those things go, but again, that's one of those kind of personal bias things. So can I fully recommend investing in these dragons? I would assume if you know a little bit more about Ninjago, there's probably 2 or 3 other sets that are way better investments than this. If you guys do know those, if you guys aren't in Ninjago, maybe leave it down below, let other people know. But for me personally, just because that's what I'm confident in, I will probably just be buying the dragons. Next up, Lego DC, pretty much coming out with nothing, but we got 1 set here retiring out of the 2. 76181, the Batmobile, the Penguin Chase from the Batman movie in 2022. And look, I really did like the movie. I think, any little $30 Batmobile, you can't really go wrong with it. I've actually luckily got 2 of them. I got for 17 bucks recently. I got a whole batch, I want to say maybe 8 months ago at this point, for $9 each at first. I picked up, I think, 8 of them. I parted them out back then, just kind of, make a quick return. I run a Bricklink store, but the last 2 I got here for very cheap. I'm just going to keep them sealed. And this one, look, I mean, with the Batman movies coming out, those are not canceled yet. I believe they're not greenlit though either. And, there's rumors there's supposed to be a trilogy, 2 more of them. I think the next one is rumored for 2025. So it's going to be quite a while, but as much as I know they're going to probably make new sets for the new movies, of course, this one I think will have a little bit of kind of evergreen growth, at least for the next couple of years, where, Robert Pattinson's Batman is relevant, So next up we have Lego Creator here. This is a theme where I really don't touch too often, but this one I'm just going to say really quickly. I think it's pretty obvious. This one, if I get it deep enough, discount, I'll buy it, but if not, I'm probably going to pass on it. But we have 31132 Viking Ship and the Midgard Serpent. I think this one fits that certain demographic of kind of a little bit more adult, a little bit more castle oriented, Vikings, where a lot of people kind of like that stuff long term. So This one I can see doing pretty big things. Next up, we have Speed Champions, and I'll preface this by saying I can really probably recommend almost any Speed Champions. You know, there's some that are better than others, of course, but, you know, overall, if you find any Speed Champions cheap enough, just buy them up. You know what I mean? There's no point, you know, not doing so. You know, pretty much, you know, some of the last 6 wide ones definitely kind of, you know, overstayed their welcome. Still pretty cheap, but, you know, those early 8 wide ones, you know, the GTR is fetching $35 now. You know, the Ferrari's $30 already. So if you guys get them, you know, these 8 wide ones, you know, 20 down to 12, 20 down to 10, I highly recommend it. But I've got the 76901 Toyota GR Supra. First off, you know, I think it's, you know, arguably probably the best one on shelves right now, or at least out of the ones retiring. I think there's like 8 of them altogether. And you know, super fans, of course. You know, some people kind of say, hey, look, it doesn't really look too accurate. I can't really say that for myself. I mean, I'm not a big super guy. But next up, we have 76912 Fast and Furious Dom's Charger. I think, look, the biggest thing with this, I'll say, is if they continue to do more Fast and Furious cars, you know, say over the next 2, 3, 4 years, which they got plenty of room to do. I mean, if they do like 2 a year, they could easily drag it out, you know, some of the iconic cars for the next 3, 4 years. So, you know, say in 3 or 4 years when that happens, people, of course, want to go back and be like, look, I mean, the only one I don't have is Dom's Charger. Like, let me go and buy that. So I think this one will be a pretty good one, especially if Lego keeps up their Fast and Furious trend. Next up, we have Lego Avatar here. Only 3 sets. And look, I'm the biggest Avatar fan you'll probably know. I mean, I love the first movie. I watched the second one twice already. Going to go back and watch it a 3rd time before it goes out of theaters. Huge fan of it. The sets, though, are kind of wishy-washy in my opinion. You know, look, they're great sets, fantastic sets. I've actually got, you know, this one behind me. This one's beautiful. If this one was, you know, was retiring, I'd definitely buy multiple. But out of the 3 retiring, I can probably only say, you know, look, get the Brickheads. You know, nice little cheap buy-in point, and you know, for, you know, the next, you know, literally 8 years these movies are coming out, or I think what at this point 5 years, I guess. So you know, or actually 6 years. So 6 more years of, you know, these movies coming out. You know, unless they continue to make more afterwards. You know, I think this set will be a nice kind of one just to kind of have. You know, for a cheap buying point, $20. You know, tacking on top of a couple, you know, Lego.com orders you place, get that free shipping, get that next promo. You know, spend this $20 here, and I think you'd be pretty satisfied. Moving on, guys, though, to the bread and butter. My bread and butter right here. Something I didn't really truly cover yesterday, you know, at all. But this is, you know, of course, I take these, you know, I put these at the end of the video, make you guys watch them. But we got the Lego Star Wars here, okay? So, you know, as always, you know, throughout the year, I'll be talking about this stuff a lot more. You know, I'm a Star Wars guy, so if you guys want to know more about the Lego Star Wars stuff retiring, you know, my thoughts on it, and kind of every up-to-date thing about them, stay tuned to the channel throughout the year. But nonetheless, let's get into a couple of these Star Wars sets. First off, we have 75290, Mos Eisley Cantina MVS set. I think this one's very obvious. I think this one's got a lot of room for growth. You know, been on the shelves for roughly at that point, I guess, 3.5 years. So kind of a long shelf life for, you know, any set. But it is MBS, you know, kind of a high buying point. Not a lot of people are buying it. You know, I still, you know, hear plenty of people in my comment sections being like, look, oh, I'm still trying to save up for it, you know. And I think, you know, perfect buying point if you're a collector, probably this May 4th. But investing sakes, you know, again, maybe pick it up May 4th. I'm personally probably won't be buying this one here. You know, I'm fortunate when I say, you know, I'm a prequel fan. So my personal connection to, like, say, the Mos Eisley Cantina, I think it's a great set. I really do. I think it's like a 9 out of 10 set. But I'd much rather put my money elsewhere, but I will highly recommend it for other people. You know, if you have personal interest in that set, if you've got the capital, you know, to begin with, you know, first off, I highly recommend it. Next up, though, this is one that, you know, in the same price range that I will be buying. I've actually already bought one. I've got one built, one sealed. Might buy another one to keep sealed. We have 75309 UCS Republic gunship. And this one, again, I'm just a prequel guy. So bottom line of it, you know, so my kind of apples to apples comparison, you know, I'd much rather have 2 UCS Republic gunships, you know, sealed, than 2 of the Mos Eisley Cantinas. Next up, we have the 75320 Snowtrooper Battle Pack. I think any Battle Pack is a pretty good buy-in. You know, they're cheap, you know, armyable. You know, Snowtroopers, we do get a lot, so this one might not do too much crazy things. You know, if you get it for $14, I mean, I don't doubt for a second it'll probably be a quick 30, 35 within the first, you know, 6 months going into 2024. Moving on to these top 2 right here. These are 2 that are very interesting. I kind of have a change of mind on them from yesterday to today. We have the 2 diorama sets retiring, 75329 and 75330. And look, as much as I don't think these sets are perfect, I like the Dagobah training one a lot, but the Death Star trench one, you know, that's kind of whatever. But the biggest thing that I heard someone say yesterday in the comment section, and it stuck with me, was if they keep on doing these dioramas for, say, the next 5-10 years, just like with the TIE Fighter pilot helmet, sure, that was a Target exclusive, a little bit harder to get, you know, to begin with. But it makes perfect sense when you say, like, look, I mean, if they do these dioramas for 10 more years, and you have, 9-10 more years of people, getting their dioramas and being like, hey, these are actually pretty cool. I would love to go back and get them all. These are those first ones then, where you have the least amount of the collectors, say, buying these. You get what I'm saying? So in 10 years, say you have 1,000 people collecting every single diorama set, when maybe now you have 400. You have 600 more people possibly, in those next couple of years, wanting to go back to these ones since these were the first ones. So I definitely got to change of mind on those. Honestly, those are almost like my top couple in this entire list right now. I got to be honest. I think it's going to be pretty fun to see where those go. But that's, two of those I recommend. Next up, 75342. Republic fighter tank. This is one where, again, pretty cool guy for me, so I like it from Adam. But let alone, look, we all know these clone troopers are gonna, go up in value. With Lego, they don't like making clones too much to begin with. Making 187th was very strange. From on paper, it was just a very odd option out of every single other Legion. So it begs the question. Look, I mean, will Lego literally ever make 187th again? Like, I don't know. I mean, will they? I doubt it. I mean, but I doubted they would ever make those a year ago, So, like, this is a set where I think fundamentally it'll do well on the shorter term. Longer term, of course, it will all come down to the fact, look, are those 187th going to be in another set? Because those are literally what's carrying it. I mean, sure, you get a beautiful Mace Windu in there also. But I feel like, everyone that say, wants a Mace Windu, they're either just going to buy it separately, or they already bought one copy of the set, and you only need one Mace Windu. So there's that one. Then lastly, moving on, guys, to the last one for Star Wars. So we have 40539, the Ahsoka Tano brickheads. And this is one where I almost want to say it's like the candidate for the most forgotten Lego Star Wars set on shelves right now. Like, is it not? Because it's only at Lego stores, only Lego.com, only in person at Lego stores. $10. I've got quite a few of these. I've actually got mine built, some more. I've got one built. I've got literally, I think, 5 sealed over there. I kind of just keep on adding them to orders as I go. And this one I think is going to be pretty slept on. I mean, Ahsoka's a big character, as is, a fan favorite in the Star Wars community. And I think it's a beautiful brickheads too. And I think for being kind of hidden away exclusively at Lego, might, benefit it, going into 2024 and stuff. So there's kind of my rough ideas, guys. My top 20 that I'll kind of be looking into. I gotta be frank with you though, guys. I mean, there's probably 150 sets retiring. I mean, there's like 35 friend sets retiring, what I mean? But like out of the 100 plus sets retiring, there's not a lot of good stuff, I feel. I mean, sure, everyone's a different collector. Everyone's got their own interest, but for what I like and for what I enjoy, what I'm confident in, and what I personally would rather have sitting on my shelf sealed, there's not much this year. So this list might not change too much throughout the year, but of course, if we hear more news about more sets retiring, or, the biggest thing here really between like now and the end of the year is, will these sets go on insane sales? Will they be Black Friday sales? Will they be sitting on Walmart for 40% off for a month? Just that will be the stuff that really changes up here. So other than that, I probably won't be making another investment video for a while. I'll probably maybe be talking about the Star Wars ones a little bit more, but I'll probably save some of the more, top 10 here, top 10 there until the end of the year. But that's pretty much all, guys. Leave your thoughts down below. Check out the list for yourself on Brick Fanatics, and comment down below maybe your top 3 most confident sets retiring at the end of the year that you think will go up in value. So that's pretty much everything, guys. Please really comment and subscribe. Stay tuned for you guys later. Bye, guys, and stay safe.